briefly remind you of, well, the latest updates on Immunify. Be sure to check the BBP updates channel just for you to see any new launches or any changes in the scope on bug bounties on protocols that you're hunting bugs. Also, we've launched I think since the last Hangout, we've launched 2 hack analysis on our Medium page. Be sure to check those as well. The Beanstalk hack and the Nomad Bridge hack, 2 very big ones from last year. As always, be sure to follow us on socials. And yeah, I guess we can get started. So yeah, I'll just introduce Nemveer, which is one of our hackers that got featured on one of our white hat success stories on Twitter. He's a pharmacist turned blockchain hacker. Do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, hello everyone. Feeling great to be here. Yeah, as you know, my name is Nemveer. I was a pharmacist, and about two months ago, I quit my job as a solitary developer, and currently I am just learning all about the smart contract security, learning about finance and math, and yeah, so. I would like to thank the organizer of the event, Immunify, for inviting me to speak here today. I'm really excited to share my journey, my knowledge, my experience with you all guys. So yeah.
Okay, very cool. So just a heads up, everybody can ask any questions on the chat. I'll be picking them up and asking Nemveer. I guess just to start us off, yeah, kind of a background maybe. How did you start hunting bugs on Immunify?
Yeah, so when I was doing job as a solitary dev, I was keeping myself up to date with keeping myself aware about all the recent hacks and analysis, and I kind of got introduced to the whole new side of the security, and yeah, so how it started is like there is a one track, senior track in Learn Web3 DAO. They walk you through some common smart contract vulnerabilities like reentrancy, DOS, transaction origin, etc. So I followed that path. After that, I guess I did some CTF. I guess it was Ethernet. Yeah, I tried. I tried doing Ethernet, and to be honest, I wasn't able to do it on my own. I took help of some tutorials, and then around in August, yeah, I guess in August starting, one of my friends submitted a bug on Immunify, and it was paid good. So he said the nature of bug with us. I tried to understand it, and yeah, and whenever I got time, I would just hop into Immunify or Core Arena, and trying to find the bug with my limited knowledge. So yeah, so by such in Immunify on one of the protocol, I was just randomly going through protocols, and in one of the protocols there was very limited assets in scope. So I always, even today, I get overwhelmed by the big code base, and it happened to me so many times that I just keep it because of so many number of assets in scope. Because I really find it hard to understand how all of them work together. So yeah, this protocol has very limited asset in scope. I decided to go deeper into it. And when I was going through, I realized that something's up. So I kind of ended up finding the similar pattern of bug. I quickly tried making POC. The POC worked. Then I submitted the report, and yeah, I am telling you that I couldn't sleep that night. I was constantly refreshing email to wait for do not reply email. Yeah, even though there's no need of it, we get notified when the new mail comes, but still there's impatience. And then I realized that no matter I would have to wait. And after 2 to 3 days, they confirmed the bug with the low severity, and I ended up receiving the bounty for that. So yeah, this is how I got my first bug bounty, and yeah, it's the feeling of satisfaction was great. So yeah, this is how
Very,
it was.
very interesting. Very nice. Oh, somebody is asking a link to whatever you mentioned. I guess maybe that DAO resource that you
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah.
Maybe,
Just give me a sec. I will share it.
yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. Um, and I have here also, yeah, no problem. Rubrics. I have here a question from Noel, but cool. Uh, how do you don't lose yourself in programs where the code is separated among dozens of files? So if you have any input to that.
Yeah, so I guess my process is very simple. I just uh, start with the very basic contract, try to understand it fully. Then I step by step go to the derived one, and in between anywhere for me it's like a back and forth process between the docs and the code base. And if the docs are very well documented with the all the necessary diagrams with how the each contract works with each other, then it's pretty easy to grasp the functioning of the protocol. So yeah, I just start with one contract at a time. I try to completely understand the contract I am currently working on, and then I go to the next one, and at the end I just try to make the map that how all that works together. So yeah, just this is it.
Okay. So that's interesting. Can you give like a brief description um, of your process in tackling a new project or a new scope? So you usually read the docs first to understand the project, or do you go directly into the code first to just look at it prior to the docs, or what do you do?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's really a back and forth process for me, and it's the part that more mentally exhausting for me. So to be honest, as I said, I still get overwhelmed by the large code base. I'm like, shit, man. So yeah, but it's a lot of back and forth between docs and code bases. So as I said, I just start with I basically start with taking a very superficial look at the code, just the name of different contracts and all. Then I start reading the docs, try to understand the underlying system, understand the architecture and the design of the system, as well as its functionality and main components. Uh, uh, as I said, the docs where there's diagram in it are very very useful most of the time for me. Yeah, and I also have a whiteboard where I like to draw diagrams and all stuff. uh, so in
Ah,
short,
interesting. Okay.
yeah, and I get here I get idea of what the protocol is trying to do. And after that, I like to go through the code base and understand the code structure, the modules, the library, and the framework that are being used. And as I said, I start with the most basic one and then slowly go to the derived one. I even taking notes meanwhile. And yeah, during the reviewing the code, I need to go to the docs multiple times to understand what a particular function is trying to do. Uh, so yeah, the this phase of understanding the protocol follows a very simple rule, in my opinion, that understanding of protocol is directly proportional to the time you give it. As simple as that. No rocket science. If you need
Okay.
it, if you you just need to give it some time. And at the end, I also like to go through the taste files, which makes me understand it better, and I also get to know that what the protocol is not supposed to do. Yeah, and if there's some financial concept I didn't know don't know about, I give some time to it. Yeah, so it's pretty simple.
All right.
Mhm.
Spyboy here is asking, are you using any automation? Do you use any sort of
Uh,
automation tools during the hunt or during just understanding of the
uh,
project?
yeah, so I am not using any fancy tool during the auditing or bug hunting. I make the most use of my hands and eyes, but still there is I sometimes I use Slither for static analysis. Surya is very handy in terms of it creates a diagram for you that how each contract works with each other and who's calling which function. Uh, uh, yeah, so here it by it we generally to get overall idea of the protocol. uh, yeah, other than
Okay.
that, yeah, I had it and Foundry. Yeah, and if we are I am debugging some transaction, then I use Tenderly, and Remix is
Okay.
evergreen. Okay.
So yeah, that's usually what hackers say, that they put much more value into just manual
Mhm.
auditing and looking into the code than automation tools. Do you see at least you see some value on the automation tools or the usage of it, or do you think that it's kind of worthless and just and you should just jump into the code?
Uh, I wouldn't say they are worthless, but the reason I usually don't use it because if there is any vulnerability that is caught up by the automation tool, then there are very less chances that I am gonna get paid out because of that vulnerabilities, because there are very high chances that someone already might have submitted that kind of bug or vulnerabilities. So this is the reason I usually don't rely on the automation tool. But yeah, if you are a developer and if you are auditing on Code Arena or in general, I wouldn't say
Yeah,
they are worthless.
exactly. Okay.
Mm.
Um, Mitsuha is asking, is it necessary to be a developer to be a smart contract auditor? So here is, I guess it's also kind of the question of what's the value of, for example, computer science fundamentals and, well, being, knowing how to develop, how to code for being a smart contract auditor.
Yeah, if you ask the even the advanced auditor or advanced developer or advanced security researcher in the space, they would always recommend you to they would always say that the better the developer you are, the better the auditor you will be. So yeah, being a developer has a lot of advantages in its own way. Uh, 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 in my case, I wasn't a developer for a very long period of time, but still, uh, I guess being a developer has a very uh, has its own advantage that you get to even when auditing uh, you understand the protocol at until the level that you yourself are able to implement the functionality yourself. So yeah, I guess it's important to have a developer mentality even while auditing.
Yeah. You also mentioned, at least I think it's featured on the that white hat success story thread. You took the CS course on Harvard X as well, right?
Yeah,
Or at least at some point in, yeah, exactly.
yeah, I started with it.
So that's, is it part of it? Is it, I wouldn't say mandatory, but you see the value of taking such a course.
Yeah, the CS50 course is the main reason I got the foundation of learning any new language. The instructor, the David Malan is a hell of a teacher. It's packed with value. So yeah, the fundamental of CS is crucial in the security space.
Very nice. Um, Pun Force is asking, how do you categorize the bugs? Don't you forget to check the existence of a bug? Do you have a checklist or something?
Uh, yeah, so I have some uh, repo, GitHub repo. I would share the link here. I'm not able to find it right now, but I will send the link, share the link later. So even I have my own uh, list of the things that I would need to check in the code base. And even I have a list of the common vulnerabilities present in the code base. So whenever I am looking in some new code base, after understanding the functionality, I step by step I look for each of the possible vulnerabilities I know, and and check tick each tick box I have present that this is fulfilled, this is fulfilled, this is fulfilled. Yeah, that's
Okay. Um, OX Fuge asking, how long did it take you to find your first critical vulnerability?
yeah. My first two or three were low severity bug, and I guess after around 2 months of submitting my first bug, I found my first critic.
Okay. So is that like, were you searching, I guess at this point you weren't hunting full time, correct?
Uh, yeah. At this point, I was doing a job, and in free time, I was hunting for the bug.
Okay, got it. So does it have to do a lot of with, I also have this question of, at what point do you basically give up on a given project, or is it like, the numbers also connected with basically just perseverance on looking into the same code base? What do you have to say about that?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question? I didn't get it.
Yeah, my question is on the point of, at some point you are looking at a code base and there's a lot, um, there's the aspect of perseverance in basically just keep on looking and checking the code. and also knowing when you should move on to another code base. Got it?
Yeah. So definitely the patience is the key in the space of auditing, because finding a vulnerability can be time consuming and challenging process, because the biggest challenge is you don't know what you are looking for in the code. You don't know whether the bug is present or not, or which kind of bug is present. So it's even mentally exhausting. So yeah, the patience is the key, but at the same time, every time I set a deadline, that I'm gonna give this much time to this particular contract file, depending on the size of the contract. And after that time, I guess I just move on to the another contract file. uh, Wasting so much time on the one particular contract is not my thing.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that. Let's see. How do you stay? CryptoPat is asking here. How do you stay up to date with the latest developments and trends in smart contract security?
Yeah, so here I would say the more and most important thing is to follow the right people on the Twitter. If you are following the right people on Twitter, the 50 to 60% job is done. Whenever there is a new hack, you get there are a lot of account who analyzes it and make a Twitter thread on it. And I initially I used to read and follow a lot of Medium account. So whenever they post some hack analysis, even the Immunify has a great list of hack analysis. So yeah, following rightful people, right account is the key to keeping yourself up to date with all the latest trends in security research in the space.
Okay, very nice. Um, Slow but Fast is asking, what beginner courses would you recommend for starting out as a Solidity dev, Solidity security? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I would say nothing different here. All of you might know this already, but based on my experience for Solidity dev, even for the auditor, I would point out a few things that uh, if you are just starting out in the world of security, I would strongly recommend to get your basics clear. It's important to have a solid foundation in security. While it's easy to get caught up in the latest trends and technologies in cybersecurity, or smart contract security, uh, it's important to remember the fundamentals and not overlook the basic concepts. Skipping over the basics may lead to the missed opportunities or vulnerabilities in the long run. So yeah, I would suggest read the solitary docs. Uh, so yeah, because like the 2 million polygon bounty. So if the whitehead didn't know about that the EC record returns zero address when signature is not valid, he would never be able to find the bug in Polygon's contract and end up receiving 2 million bounty. So reading the docs is important in my opinion. Also, the protocol level fundamental comes handy in certain situation. Like if you are not aware about the fact that the miner or validator has the capability of to manipulate the block dot timestamp within certain extent, you would ignore the block dot timestamp used in the function. So yeah, first point is having a strong understanding of the underlying protocols and principle in security is essential, and it can provide valuable insight and can be crucial in addressing complex and unique situation. Other thing I would suggest that mm, uh, based on my personal experience, you would have to learn about the EVM, how it works at certain point in your journey. So gaining an understanding of how the Ethereum virtual machine works has been incredibly beneficial for me in work as a security researcher, because it has allowed me to better analyze smart contracts and understand the potential vulnerabilities. Uh, like it is after knowing the EVM, I really understood that the why OpenZeppelin uses uint instead of bool in reentrancy guard. It is after knowing EVM I really understood the layout of storage and memory and call data. It's
Got
after
it. So
understanding.
you say that. Sorry to interrupt. So
Yeah, yeah,
basically,
sure.
the fundamentals of blockchain, and then leading up to fundamentals of EVM, smart contract, etc. And this is even prior to just building, just let's say the security aspect of it, rather just basic fundamentals of the technology as a whole, right?
Yeah, 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 certainly.
Yeah. And this, so those are sort of the beginner materials as well, right? Like checking the documentation, I guess going deep into the EVM. Fuser78 also asks a similar question, but more like materials, courses to learn or improve the security hacker skills. So more into the advanced security aspect of it. Any
Yeah, yeah.
recommendations on that front?
Yeah, so yeah, so for that I would recommend to join Securum Discord and follow its material. It's currently a based resources for learning about smart contract security, and the best thing is it's totally free. There's no prerequisite as well. Even I am yet to complete some of its slots, but I would strongly recommend you guys that. So go through its material and try to answer old quizzes. You would learn a lot. Uh, there are also pretty good mentors to interact with. Uh, Apart from that, yeah, if you haven't applied for CTFs like Ethernaut, Capture the Ether, Damn Vulnerable DeFi, Paradigm CTF, I would strongly recommend you that, because here you would be able to apply all the knowledge you absorbed till now, and you will feel much more confident after this. And yeah, apart from this, I would just say read the audit reports and uh, be up to date with all the latest trends in the security.
Okay. So do you also think that again on the EVM side, what were kind of the main materials that gave you that deep understanding of the EVM? Was it just venturing into, for example, the Ethernet CTFs challenges, or any particular thing to pinpoint?
Yeah, for learning about Ethereum, I started by following the Open Zeppelin's series about deconstructing a contract. There's a six part series where they have explained in detail how EVM is supposed to work. uh, then there's a site called evm.codes. There in the site there's a description of each opcodes, plus there are also there's a gas course associated with each opcode. So if you learn about the opcodes, it's a very good site. And after that I attempted some EVM puzzles. uh, yeah, so let me share the resources I have on in EVM.
Okay, thank you. Um, I'll keep on asking questions here from the chat,
Yeah,
if that's okay with you.
yeah,
As someone doing AppSec, this is SB asking, as someone doing AppSec testing, how transferable is that knowledge to Web3?
Sorry, please. Can you
As someone doing AppSec testing, application security testing, how transferable is that knowledge to Web3? Do you have any input on that?
No hard question, guys. I am literally just getting started in the security space, so I don't have any insight on that. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
This is another question from Stico or Sec0. How do you keep motivated when working a full-time job plus hunting? He seems to be struggling to stay consistent and gets super tired with it.
Yeah, even it was hard for me when I was working as a dev and also hunting for bugs. But to be honest, uh, the amount of satisfaction when when you get when your first bug is confirmed, that you realize that you have helped to secure users funds from being hacked is I guess is immeasurable. Knowing that my efforts have protected people's hard-earned assets and potentially prevented financial loss is incredibly rewarding. It's a reminder of the importance of our work and the impact it can have on individual and on organization. So yeah, it's kind of a driving force, I would say. And yeah, also the money is good. That's no doubt in it.
Very nice. Somebody is asking here your Twitter. I'm sure we can drop it, or Pepin can drop it.
Yeah.
Question from OX Fuge. How do you choose bounties? Do you choose particular types of projects, or do you choose based on potential rewards / interest / how new the bounty is?
Yeah, so uh, yeah, so in my opinion, there's two ways of finding a bug. First way is you know about a bug, you find a bug, and you look for it in a different protocols. And the second way is you pick a protocol and you look for a bug in it. So initially, I was more into the first way. By this, I didn't even have to uh, know about the code base. So I just so I just have to being up to date with the latest research, and this gave me upper end in the upper end while initially. So you just have to look for specific pattern or look for a specific word syntax like delegate call or balance of address this or address this or balance or low level call. So uh, initially I was more into the first way, but later as I developed more understanding, I started doing starting applied my knowledge for the second way. And uh, for this I generally pick the contracts or the protocols which are very less finance and math heavy, because there is this is something that I lack at. So I try to look for contracts or protocols which are which are simple in its way. So yeah, this is just my way of doing it.
Okay, got it. Let me plug my question as well. During bug hunting, I feel like there's at least a little bit of a luck factor of looking into the right code base, the right contracts, etc. But we see that elite hackers seem to constantly deliver on finding critical vulnerabilities, at least with a good level of consistency. So, what is your opinion on this? How does one overcome that luck factor and basically turn the odds in favor of the hacker? What are the aspects, whether it's computer science fundamentals, hacker mentality, just perseverance? What are the key things that makes it more likely to find some juicy bug?
Okay. So yeah, it's a hard question to answer, but I guess yeah, I would let me try to answer it in a two parts. So yeah, so I guess it depends on our definition of luck. So, if we say that staying alert about launching of new bug bounty and becoming the first one to report the non or common vulnerability is luck, then yeah, I wouldn't deny the fact that there's a luck factor. If we say that staying up to date with all the latest security research and the trend is luck, then yeah, there's there is luck factor. But so yeah, it really depends. Even if we see in the world outside the blockchain world, every business or profession success is mixture of luck and hard work. So what I am trying to say is, as the saying goes, luck favors the prepared mind. So the ones who have the skills and put in the hard work are more likely to become successful in finding and reporting vulnerabilities, as they are better equipped to identify and take advantage of opportunities when they arise. So yeah, and definitely the having a strong foundation in computer science and programming, as well as staying up to date with the latest trend and technique are essential. And additionally, having a hacker's mentality, the ability to think creatively and outside the box, and a good understanding of the code base and contracts you are dealing with, can greatly increases the chances of or likelihood of finding the vulnerabilities. And as I mentioned earlier, the patience is also a key, because it's a lot of time consuming. And yeah, in order to turn the odds in our favor, I would say developing the allied hackers mentality is something to work on. So if we see the see the allied hacker, they are pretty quick at certain things. They just look at some code, and they can tell you where the things seems messy. They are pretty fast at finding bug and submitting a bug. So yeah, and remembering the protocols which have certain patterns. What I mean to say is, if there's some Twitter thread about a new kind of bug or some hack that recently happened, the allied hacker are the ones, they are pretty quick to remember that, oh, I have seen this pattern somewhere, and they they go to the code base of that protocol, and that follows the same logic, and they report it to them. So yeah, I'm not sure if I answer correctly or not,
No,
but yeah,
no,
that's
that was a great answer. Thank you very much. um, okay, Orlando here is asking, is there a way to streamline my learning, hacking, earning process? He's a bit confused or overwhelmed as a beginner hacker. He has zero experience with Web3 programming, but he's taking also the Harvard's CS50 course. And yeah, he's watching most of Securium's video, consuming Web3 security content. Do you have any advice to Orlando?
yeah. So as I say, the space itself is moving so fast, that there is just so much to learn. If you decide to spend today to learn this particular thing, at the end of the day there would be 10 new things that would have been that would have been discovered. Every day a new protocol gets launched. So yeah, I definitely agree that even I got overwhelmed by by just seeing the uh, stack of the things that we have to learn. But yeah, I would say trust the process. No need to get impatient, or no need to get overwhelmed. Take one step at a time, but with consistency. Start with basic, and at the end, it's like wisdom paradox. The more you learn, the more you realize how less you know. So it happens with, I guess, everyone. So no need to be overwhelmed. Just be consistent, that I would say.
Very nice. Okay. Dingo is asking, how long did it take from the moment you dive to Solidity to the first bug bounty reward?
Okay, so I would say it took me around 4 to 5 months. Uh, 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 Starting from when I started to learn Solidity, and uh, when I got my first bug confirmed. Yeah, it was the gap around 4 to 5 months.
Okay. How does it feel when uh, since you already found your at least some critical vulnerabilities, how does it feel when your first critical is confirmed and paid?
Uh, so yeah, finding and reporting a critical vulnerability, and having it confirmed and rewarded is a great feeling. It's kind of a validation of my skills and hard work, and it's also a way to contribute to the security of the systems and the protocol I am assessing. Uh, it's a great sense of accomplishment, and it's also a motivation to continue my efforts in finding and reporting vulnerabilities. It also helps me to improve my skills and knowledge, and try to become a better security researcher. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the sense of satisfaction that you have protected people's money. It's very much rewarding to me. So yeah, it's good.
Very nice. I guess we're wrapping up here. Do you have any like final tips or advice for finding vulnerabilities? Again, we've we went through all this a few times in these questions, but yeah, if you have any closing thoughts or maybe quite specific I don't know, quite specific advice or practices that you thought or you found out to be really, really helpful for finding vulnerabilities. Just any advice for hackers out there.
So yeah, yeah, it might sound cliche, but it really helped me personally a lot. Uh, a proactive mindset that vulnerabilities or bug is definitely exist in the code base we are dealing with can aid in its discovery. For example, as we see in city apps, that at first glance, it seems pretty fine to us. It's not immediately obvious, but the fact that it's a CTF and that's definitely a bug in it makes us push ourselves a bit harder. Uh, this particular mindset encourages us thinking outside the box, and exploring different scenarios which can lead to successful capture of the flag, or and I would say the same thing applies to the any given code base. So just start with the positive mindset that uh, there is definitely a bug present in the code base, and it's up to me whether I am successful in finding it or not. So this is one mindset I go with in every protocol. Apart from it, I guess I don't have to say much about tips.
All right, that's awesome already. Thank you very much, Nemveer, for this, for being present, and for answering our hackers' questions. Again, hopefully Pepin will drop Nemveer's Twitter handle there on the chat, in case anybody wants to follow him around and what he's up to lately. And also, again, follow the Immunify channels. Be sure to check the BBP updates always, and our Medium page, our Twitter page as well. And that's it. Again, thank you very much, Nemveer.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you the audience for your nice questions. Thank you. It's a great experience.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everybody.